What's up guys, my name is Greg, aka Nin, aka Nin Crony, and today I'm giving you a behind the scenes look on how I made my guide to GM video. Let's get straight into it. First, the script. The script was the most important part of the video for me. I treated it sort of like a school project or an essay, and it helped me stay focused on format and flow. Instead of rambling randomly, I wrote down key points I wanted to discuss and for the most part stuck to the script to avoid filler words like or and help present myself a bit more professionally. I started with a brief intro of what to expect, then I tried to break it down into sections that I ended up labeling throughout the video, and then go into further detail about those sections. And finally, I give a brief conclusion about all the things that I discussed. I suggest that if you have an idea for a video or a project, start writing it down. I used the Notes app on my phone and just started writing with no real direction at first. But as I continued to add more info and edit that information just as I would like an essay for school, it started to grow into something I became really passionate about. Also, I used my phone to record the audio, and I'm using it to record the audio for this one right now. The microphone on my phone is definitely superior to the microphone on my headset. Next was getting background footage. I wanted to record my grind from Diamond to GM, so I already had the footage there, but there were some moments that I wanted to get in-game footage for to support the topics I was discussing, such as whenever I was talking about character cooldowns. Just having a visual that represents what you're saying audibly helps create a smooth experience for the viewer. I used OBS to capture my game footage on PC, but if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, it's to my understanding that they both have built-in game recording software to capture your games that way, or by even downloading past live streams from Twitch or YouTube. So now that we have the script and the background footage recorded, let's get them into our editing software. If you're looking for a free editing software, I use CapCut to make the auto captions for this video and DaVinci Resolve to edit everything else. CapCut is great for auto captions because making subtitles takes forever. It's not always perfect, but it still saves a lot of time compared to doing it all from scratch. Next, let's talk about the timeline. This is what my fully completed timeline for the Guide to GM video looks like. As you can see, I have multiple video and audio tracks. I can understand how this can look overwhelming at first, but allow me to break it down. My video tracks show the background footage, the captions, and any pictures, GIFs, or memes that I threw on the screen. My audio tracks show the audio for my game, my microphone during the recording of that game, the recording of my script, background music, and sound effects. So, how did I get from a blank timeline to this? Well, let's start at our base and go from there. First, I emailed the voice memos of my script to myself so that I could download them on my computer. Then I threw that into CapCut to generate the auto captions for me. It exported as a black video with the captions. It's not exactly what I wanted, but I'll show you how I worked around this later. Then I threw the voice memo into Audacity, a free audio-based app that has a lot of cool features. Specifically for me, the noise reduction to try to make my mic audio as crisp as possible. I highlighted a small part of the track where background noise was present, came over to effects, went to noise reduction, and then I got my noise profile. Then I highlighted the entire track and then applied the effect. Then I just exported it from Audacity. I think I had to download something to get Audacity to interpret the format of the voice memo, but it was an automatic pop-up in the app. When it tells you need whatever, just go to the website link that they provide and download it. Then I took that audio and brought it to my timeline. There are a few ways to do it, I believe, but I just right-click while hovering in my Media Pool tab and then click Import Media. You can also import multiple files at a time if you hold Control and then left-clicking each of the files. Now, if I were to try to put my background footage here, the black video behind my captions would block it. So let's get rid of that black video that came with the captions from CapCut. We're going to use the same tool that you use when taking the green screen background out of green screen footage. You're going to click on the video with the captions on it, come over to the effects in the top left corner, and then click Open Effects, and then use the 3D keyer. Drag this onto your footage, then click on this little drop-down menu here, and then click on the Open Effects overlay. And you can click on this pick button and click anywhere on the black footage. Then it'll disappear. So now I can bring in my background video. For you, it can be one video. However, for this project, I use multiple different sessions. It's also important to note that I kept my background footage, captions, and whatever videos or pictures on top of all that, each on their own video track respectively when I could. For example, my background footage was always on video track 1. That way, any pictures or captions will always be displayed on top of it. And that also means that I kept my captions on the highest available video track, so that way they would always display on top of any other media. My pictures and other text would usually go in between these two video tracks. It's also worth noting that the reason I have so many audio tracks is because of the way I have my OBS set up to record. I have 3 separate audio tracks. Track 1 is for a combination of tracks 2 and 3, so that way if I'm streaming on Twitch or something, all audio is going to be heard. Track 2 is my game and voice chat audio only, and track 3 is my microphone from the gameplay only. Rather than separating these tracks and deleting them, I chose to simply permanently mute all of the background footage audio and opt for background music and sound effects instead. However, in this video, track 1 is going to be the audio of the script, and track 5 would be my consistent background music audio. Tracks 6 and 7 would be used for sound effects. So now we have a timeline with a script that outlines the format of the video, captions to accompany that audio, and background footage to play while you talk. It's looking rough, but it's the beginning of something beautiful. But the video still doesn't really have any flow. It's still not engaging or interesting to watch. And that's why we have to use a combination of visual and auditory stimuli to get people watching. First, I wanted some background music. For me, it was easy to choose. Since we're talking about Marvel, I decided to use the in-game Marvel soundtrack. You can also use other game soundtracks or non-copyrighted music available from a variety of places on the internet. I downloaded the audio from YouTube and dragged them straight into my timeline. Make sure to adjust the audio levels so they aren't blasting. By default, most videos are super loud and need to be reduced. You can also put a limiter on audio tracks to make sure they don't peak past a certain volume, which is something I use at around like -10 or -8. I don't remember the exact number, but I just try to keep it in this little yellow area when looking at these little audio bars. But now we have background music. I try to find a nice consistent volume to keep it at, and use transitions like a fade out when I'm switching topics to keep that sense of flow. And although we have that background footage, it's still not enough happening on screen visually for the level of engagement I was looking for.
Jingle, jingle, pay attention.
So I start using pictures, zooms, and movement to try to get what I'm looking for. I'm usually looking for a visual accompaniment for whatever I'm saying currently in the script. It doesn't have to be each word, but usually for whatever sentence I'm talking about, unless I feel like I want to give the viewer a break from the movement and just listen to what I'm saying. Whenever I have something else on screen, I make sure to blur the background video to focus on that new visual. To do that, you come over to Effects, Open Effects, and choose whichever blur you want. I use the directional blur. As far as zooms, you click on the media in the video track, come over to your inspector tab in the top right corner if it's not open already. Then you go to the video tab, and you can use this transform tab right here. Let's take a look at the zoom I used for the first picture in the beginning of this video. I create a keyframe for the zoom feature at 0 seconds with the value set to 0 so that it's not even there. I move forward a few frames and make it slightly bigger than I'd like it to be. So in this case to about 0.88. Then I go to the end of the picture in the timeline and bring it down to about how small I want it to be. Then I open up this keyframe menu here and click this little curve to give it a bit of smoothness with the motion, and now it looks like this. I use keyframes a lot, and it can be used for a lot more than just zooms. It can also be used to move things around. You should get creative and mess with these keyframes for sure. So at the beginning of this video, I start off with the friendly looking black guy to personify me because I didn't feel like using my own face. Then I show a GM icon followed by my rank up screen since that's what I'm talking about. Then I take a break from all that visual stuff and I just let the background footage roll. Then I blur the background again for the title of the first 2 topics. That's when I came up with the idea of writing on a chalkboard as a new transition / title card for each new topic. I found a picture of a chalkboard on Google, downloaded it, added it to the timeline, shaped it to size, added a title text, and made the title text display from left to right as if I was writing, and finally added a chalk writing and erasing sound effect that I got from YouTube. Then for all future topics, I could just copy the chalkboard and the text and just adjust the text to match the new title, so that way I wouldn't have to repeat this process multiple times. But yeah, I think that's honestly about it. These are just all the techniques that I used to create this video. Everything else was just application. It was just a series of zooms, finding pictures, using my own creativity to think of what videos or memes I think might fit best for the moment. And that's about it, just putting it together myself. If you have any specific questions about the video or about any specific techniques or any part of the video that you watched, like, wow, I want to know how you did that, be sure to ask in the comments and I'd be happy to go over it. I'd either answer you below in the comments as well, or if enough people want to know about it, I can make a new video on it. So yeah, that's it. My name was Greg. Thank y'all for watching. Y'all have a good one.